Somebody said, can people finish their sentence? Dang. Listen, we already been on almost 3 hours, so you got to get to the point quickly because patience starts to run thin. Not to you, Dallas. I'm just saying to the person in the chat, like, we trying to get people to land the plane a little bit quicker. Cliff, let me know what your thoughts are.
My thoughts are, it seems like I've been keeping pretty close attention to this case. Actually, I keep pretty close attention to a lot of cases. I live in Dallas. I don't see all the racism, I guess. Maybe I'm different. I travel all over the world. I don't see all the racism in Dallas. I love Dallas. I love Texas, the best state in America. But as far as this case is concerned, it was actually pretty clear cut to me. I think Karmelo was definitely guilty. All the facts, it's not due to race, it's due to all the facts of the case. So you got two kids at a track meet, and I watched the video. I didn't see any, jumping or commotion or him getting beat down, nothing like that. All the witnesses testified that he touched him or pushed him or whatever, and he pulled out a knife and stabbed him so hard in the heart to where the knife pierced his bone in his chest. That's pretty damn hard if you ask me. So that's the reason why Karmelo went to jail, if we're gonna be honest. So it's not due to race, not due to he got railroaded, nothing like that. You come to Texas, you stab somebody in the heart, you kill them, you think you're gonna get off from that? You're not, especially when all the evidence is going against you. And there's a lot of confusion on what self-defense is. Self-defense has to be proportional. It's not.
What's what's
yes.
beeping? Is that you with that doo-doo? Is that you?
No, that's not me. That's not me.
Okay, everybody else mute their mic. Finish. Go ahead.
Okay, but self-defense, there's a lot of confusion on that. It has to be proportional. Yes,
Are you comparing this to other similar cases with white defendants in the same area? Do they get the same sentences?
I'm saying I'm comparing this to the law, and so when you speak,
wait,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay, go ahead.
When people say like, oh, I'm just basing it off of the law, I am too, off of the same law that was applied to the other white defendants that did not even get charged with the same level of charges that he got. So it's like we have this thing where
what white defendants are you speaking about?
The white guy in Belton. That's what she's talking about. It's about 2 hours away.
So self-defense, it's particular to each individual case. So if you're going to talk about a different case, I haven't seen that case. And it's particular to different states, particular to different situations.
It happened in Belton County, bro. It was about an hour away from Dallas. It happened in 2022. He stabbed a guy in the bathroom. It was a Mexican guy. He killed him.
So there again, every case, if you talk about self-defense, every case is different. You can't. It is true. It is true. Every case is true.
Pause. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
The reason why it's important to have other cases to compare it to in Texas is because you will see the facts of self-defense in these other cases that have much more premeditated nature. So in that case, actually had conversations that he was going to fight and he planned to fight and all of these things where he planned this and he was going to hurt the guy badly and all these premeditated things, and he didn't get even remotely close to the same sentence or the same charge. So when we say what self-defense is, we have to also look at other self-defense cases in the same area, and you have to compare the facts to this case if we're going to have an honest conversation about what self-defense is and what it isn't, because there's other cases with much more premeditated nature, much more egregious acts, much more planning involved, and they got a much lighter sentence. But I'm gonna let you finish and I'm not gonna interrupt anymore. Just don't be disingenuous, but go ahead.
Cliff,
okay.
Are you white?
No, I'm black, but that doesn't matter. But like, again, what I was saying was, as far as the self-defense, it was not proportional. He barely touched him. He pushed him, whatever, and he just stabbed him in the heart. You can't do that. First of all, you can't do that. And then you have all the witnesses that were standing around, black, white, all races. They all said the same thing. Now, maybe their stories may have been a little bit different here, there, whatever. as far as like minor details, but on the main points, they all said that Carmelo Anthony was the aggressor. So you can't claim self-defense if you're the aggressor. First of all, that's
Wait, pause, because I feel like you're being disingenuous, and I want people to be able to express when they have difference of opinion. But just because somebody says, I could say Cliff came on my show and he was aggressive as heck. Does that make it true? You didn't come on here aggressive. You haven't argued with anybody. You didn't start confrontation with anybody. Like, just because somebody says that you're the aggressor, I could say Cliff is the aggressor. He came on here with a negative opinion and being disingenuous. Like, just because I think that you're being disingenuous doesn't mean that it's true, because if you have to base it on everything else they said did not align with him being the aggressor. He never got out of his seat. He never put his hands on Austin first. He never walked up on Austin, walked up on him. There were several boys taunting him. Like, we have to, like, you can have a difference of opinion. You can feel like he should have never had the knife. I get all of that. But to act like
I didn't say anything about the knife, but the knife is why he had it. To me, that's not irrelevant, but it's not the main issue. You can have a bat. You beat somebody, you kill somebody with the bat. Does that mean that the bat, if it's legal, does it make the crime okay? No.
I'm talking about Karmelo being the aggressor per your words, just because
he was you had people testify that he was the aggressor, and it's irrelevant. What can I finish my point, please?
That's where I'm saying you being disingenuous.
Can I finish my point, and then maybe you can?
Does that make you the aggressor? No.
Well, okay, I understand what you're saying. Like, as far as the aggressor, you may look at somebody being aggressive differently. I may look at somebody being aggressive differently. What I'm saying is, if you let me finish, and I can explain it.
Okay, go ahead. What makes him the aggressor?
Okay, if you just let me finish, I promise you I'll explain it. So it doesn't matter what you think. Only thing that matters is what those 12 jurors think. And so they're going to look at the situation. They're going to analyze all the evidence as far as the witnesses, what they said.
I'm talking to the 12 jurors. I'm talking to Cliff. What made him the aggressor outside of a kid simply saying that he was the aggressor? What made him?
Okay,
I'm
this is
not
okay. This is what
anybody that was on the jury.
Okay, this is why I believe he was the aggressor. Okay, he was the aggressor because he said, "Touch me and see what happens." That's the reason why that's the reason why they got the premeditation in there as well. It's when you say touch me and see what happens. Listen, I travel everywhere. I go to a lot of different countries. If I'm somewhere, if I go to Colombia and I'm in some venue and I'm surrounded by Colombians and they're all telling me to leave, if I'm scared for my life, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna be touch me and see what happens. I'm gonna say, all right, well, I'm out of here. I'm gonna get out of there as soon as possible because I'm afraid in that moment and I don't want any problems. So I'm gonna leave. But what I'm saying is that to me, he was the aggressor because he premeditated and said, touch me and see what happens. So he's telling you what he's gonna do in a roundabout way if you touch him. That's what he's saying.
So when your mom told you, and I'm gonna use this person's analogy, right? So when your mom told you not to touch the stove because it can burn your hands, is that her telling you to touch the stove? Or is that saying if you touch this stove, it's gonna burn your hands? Like,
I don't understand that analogy. What are you saying? If my mom told me to touch the stove, and I'm just saying I don't understand what your analogy.
Him saying touch me and find out made him the aggressor, right?
Yes.
But could that also be a warning as well? Because if your mom, and I said I'm going to use the analogy that Myra gave, if your mom told you don't touch the stove, she's not telling you to touch the stove because she wants you to touch the stove. She's giving you a warning that the stove is going to burn you if you touch it.
I'm just saying that as far as what Karmelo was, when he said that, to me, it made him the aggressor. They were saying, the witnesses testified that Austin
Please
did not
telling me what the witnesses said. What
the witnesses testified in court that Austin said repeatedly that, look, I don't want to fight you at the track track meet.
That repeated. They did.
That's what they testified to.
Wait, pause. I was in the courtroom. Each student said something different. One student said that. Yes.
Okay. So they testified that.
No, Austin, you keep saying they as a group did not say that. They didn't say that.
Okay. Well, testimony was testimony was presented in the courtroom. Look, testimony was presented in the courtroom that Austin did not want to. He vividly stated that he didn't want to fight him.
And there was
at the
also,
track
did
meet.
you hear the testimony where Austin said, fuck you, pussy, and all this stuff, and they was calling each other curse words, and Austin called him a bitch and all that? Did you, or are we taking everybody's testimony, or are we just picking one person? Because again, there was multiple people who said different things. I can go to the student who testified that Austin was calling him bitches, and he was calling him out his name, and he was taunting. Like, each student said something completely different.
Well, every student, even Austin's defense team, their witnesses said that Austin was not Austin, but Karmelo was the aggressor.
I don't care about them saying that he was the aggressor. What does the actions tell you? Are you the aggressor?
I just explained that to you.
The actions, not because a student said a buzzword. They all said the buzzword that the prosecution asked them to say. Hit this buzzword.
This is what they testified to in court.
Buzzword aside, what did their actions show?
His actions show that he killed Austin Metcalf. That's what his actions show.
What did Austin's actions show?
Austin didn't want to. He said he didn't want to fight him
based on one person. But what about the person who?
But that was presented in court. Was that presented in court though?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so that's the testimony that was at court.
Just like the one person that said what you said, but there was also a kid that said that Austin was calling him a bitch.
Well, Austin, he didn't pull out a knife and stab nobody though.
But he put his hands on him.
But he didn't pull out a knife and stab nobody. Even though you put your hands on, that's what I'm saying. People have this self-defense conflicted. Just because you put your hands on somebody, you bump into somebody, you step on somebody's shoe, does not give you the right to stab somebody. So let's be honest. And Karmelo was the one in the wrong. He's the one that pulled that knife out and killed that boy.
The kid told you. Because the prosecution needed the kids to hit a buzzword, and they said the buzzword, so that made him wrong because they said it.
Because they testified, absolutely. That's why the jury came back and found him guilty. Okay. And then that's the reason why. And he even admitted it. The cop, he said to the cop, did it. So he admitted it. And he didn't even take the stand. Why didn't he take the stand if he? First of all, in a self-defense case, you need to take the stand. If you're going to prove self-defense, you need to get on that stand. The jury needs to hear you. They need to hear how you felt in that moment. That's very important, right? Don't you think? So why didn't he take the stand? If he was so innocent, why didn't he take the stand? Answer that question.
Okay, so now you're being extra because nobody said that he was so innocent. Not one time did we say that he's so innocent. They both.
Okay, so he's guilty.
I have to agree with Nick. Cliff, you're being extra. No one said he was so innocent. Everybody knows that he.
But people are saying that he should get off.
Everybody knows that he committed a crime. What we're arguing is that he shouldn't have got the penalty for the crime that was committed. That's what we're arguing.
I disagree with that. I think he got the right charge. It was first degree murder. He took a life, and it didn't have to happen like that. He could have easily walked away. And if I had a son, I would tell him. If I got nephews, I tell them all the time, you don't take a knife to school. You have an argument with somebody, you don't stab somebody and kill them. You don't do that. That's wrong. And he got the absolute right charge. That's first degree murder in the state of Texas.
Can I hop in, Nick, please?
Go ahead.
Okay, sir, you're saying that you're using the law. However, the statements that you are providing are not aligning with the Texas law. I have to say it again. Texas is an open carry state. They also have the stand your ground law. Okay, and I came back to. Okay, so I came back to try to help understand the differences in the laws in different states. I'm in Illinois. Okay, I'm also going to say the city so you can better understand.
Where you from? What city?
Chicago.
Okay, all right.
So Texas, open carry, stand your ground. Illinois, you have to have a license to carry, and we have the castle doctrine, meaning we can protect our property and our land. We have a duty to retreat. Okay. Now, everybody in this panel knows and has seen the violence, with people having tools, the escalated violence in the city. Okay. So people do not always follow the law. So it's amazing to me how, not you, but some people are enhancing this tool when the state approved it. The lady, I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't know your name, but she was the part of the Black Panthers. She explained that in Texas, everybody has a weapon. We already see in my city, everybody has a weapon. But you're saying that you're following the law, but you're not. You have your own opinion that's outside of the law. It's stand your ground.
I don't have an opinion.
He has a right to stand his ground.
He doesn't have a right to stand. You have a listen.
The law
you have
says that.
Listen, you have a right to stand your ground. Yes, I'm not debating his right to stand his ground. It's if Austin approached him with a knife and said, "Hey, man, get out of here." Absolutely, I would definitely be in Karmelo's in his corner, arguing for Karmelo, because you have to meet. That's what I'm saying. People have a confusion with the stand your ground, with the self-defense. You have to meet equal force with equal force.
That's
generally,
okay, but this is what you're.
Let me finish. Before you cut me off. Generally speaking, you need to meet equal force with equal force.
That's not true.
No. Hey, brother. Hey, show face right quick, man. Let me see you, man. Are you black?
Right. What does that matter though?
No.
Why does that matter? If I'm white, it does not matter. The only thing that matters is the facts, man.
Sir, the facts is that Karmelo was seated. They approached him. Do you understand if somebody makes contact with you, you cannot go around putting your hands on people? Do you understand that that's against the law?
I'm not saying what Austin did was right. I never said that.
Okay, but listen, do you understand that if you put your hands on somebody, they have the right to protect yourself? Can we agree on that?
We can agree on that. Absolutely.